What's up, people? Nat Black Kevin, I'm back, and today we're going to talk about trends. And we're not just talking about any old, like a trend comes in and a trend comes out. We're talking about trends that seem to be here to stay and are on the rise, but are they on the rise for the right reason? Or is there a sense of a social stigma that arises with the rise of such trends that are becoming in the forefront of our lives nowadays? And I'm talking about trends. People may be doing these things for the right reasons, but also it's like the new day and age of what I like to say, the new peer pressure. Something that makes you feel cool about yourself, that makes you feel like I'm doing things for the right reason, but am I really? And I think there's a strong social media element to a lot of these trends that have become on a rise nowadays. And we're going to talk about some in particular, some that are very close to me because I'm actually part of one that we'll talk about later on, and how and why these have all of a sudden become, I wouldn't say acceptable, but more of the norm, because everything's acceptable, you can do what you want, but more of a norm. So let's take a look at ink and tattoos. Now, when I was growing up in the 90s, it was always looked at, oh, you can't have a tattoo, you're going to be seen as a gangster, only gangsters have tattoos, you're never going to get a real job. Do you know what? I see people nowadays walking on street, up and down, tattoo up their body, everything, And now people with a whole bunch of creative artistic tattoos are seen as I just said, very creative people and looked upon like that, as people with that own themselves and are very creative within the industry that they do because they have these tattoos. It's a general stigma that's related now to being someone that's tatted up. It's not that element that was like that back then, but now it's an attachment that young people have brought and developed it and made it their own. And the question is, though, I know people that got tattoos for reasons because it meant something to them, it's within their family and whatnot, but all of a sudden the rise is telling me that there's a social status attached to something like that. Is it a sense of, I'm doing this because the next person's doing it and I just think it looks cool, so I'm going to get it and I'm going to show it to everyone, and even when it's even when it's 5 degrees out, I'm going to be wearing shorts, to show off the tattoos on my legs. Is it something like that has allowed such a thing to become a norm? Or do people still generally sit back and say, do you know what, it's a different world we live in, I'm going to get a tattoo, I don't care what people think, it's just what I want, so I'm going to do it. I don't know, but I generally think that with the rise of digital platforms, that you're able to show yourself and express yourself more. And this is probably why a part of the reason that something like this, and I'm just using tattoos as a general example, that has, drawn attention and become more on the rise in this day and age. Let's look at other things like to do with consuming food. Let's look at the whole gluten-free craze and, veganism. Now, I will say the whole veganism one is very close to my heart because I'm a vegan. Now, I came up and grew up in a Caribbean family, born in the 90s, curry goat, chicken stew, for dinner every single night with some rice and some plantain, a steak and you eat that all jam rock, Anyway, I'm a vegan now. I don't eat that. Now, I believe I know why I'm vegan. I turned vegan for health reasons, for physical health reasons. But again, I've watched Netflix documentaries, I've read books that have told me the benefits about being vegan, or the benefits that essentially be very biased. But I'm still listening to them and taking it with me and adopting it. Now, is that my own conscious decision, or has somebody implanted that in my brain that I need to turn vegan to get the health benefits that I want to get? Now, don't get me wrong, since turning vegan I have seen these health benefits, but could I have done them in a different way where eating meat was fine, or have I been kind of brainwashed to tell myself that turn vegan because we don't want you in the industry? We're just going to brainwash it and tell you that there's health benefits to it, even though that is the truth, but really and truly we don't want you in that industry. So that's how we're gonna tell you about it. Now, I know like 10, 15 years ago, it must have been very, I speak to people, I have vegan friends, they say it was very difficult to find somewhere in the UK to have a solid vegan meal. That's what they say. Today I was down the street, went to get a meal, vegan, they had vegan options, they had vegetarian options, meat options, but they had vegan options. And it says that more and more people are becoming vegan. Now, is that because they've made themselves aware of the industry and don't like the kind of animal slaughterhouse industry? Or is that because they've been told that eating chicken is cancerous or whatnot, or, which I'm not saying is not true, I'm not saying it is true, I'm not here to debate that. But have they been told that? And have they been on social media, on looking at these documentaries, reading these articles and blogs and being brainwashed into believing that? Have they got other friends that have told them about this, and are they following a craze? Are they following a general kind of social craze? Because there is a social element attached to something like being vegan or going gluten-free that is undeniably on the rise in the Western world at the moment. So have these people adopted this kind of new lifestyle off of their own back, or are they joining the whole crew? Are they joining the whole crew to fit in and to be vegan with their other vegan and gluten-free counterparts? Or are they doing it for themselves? Now, I would like to think that we're living in a world where we can do things for ourselves, but actually we are social human beings and we want to fit in no matter what. So there is an element where people will go to the extremes to fit in. Now, me myself, I'm struggling to try and think where I've come into this. I essentially came into it because I wanted to be more fitter, like physically fit. And I thought that going vegan, the drastic change would do something like that, and it's helped. But I can tell myself without a doubt that there would have been other options and other ways to do that while continuing my diet. You know, eat less, but for some reason I chose the vegan option because I know, and it's probably because I've known it's a thing now and that a lot of people are doing it, so let me try it. So is that not me wanting to join a phase, wanting to being with the other people that I have? Maybe it is. I like to think it's not. I like to think I just did it. But that is the thing. We're living in this social world where we necessarily don't know or have control of what we're doing, and we will just join onto new phases and new trends because we unconsciously see our friends and our peers and our counterparts doing it, and because we want to fit in. And that's how social media has developed to draw people in. And you know, I say social, but I mean it's digital. You know, I said I watched a Netflix documentary. I watched this Netflix documentary because other people had watched it. That's the thing. I had been recommended from meat eaters to watch this documentary and from vegans. So I watched it. And guess what? You know, I was actually vegan before the documentary, but I watched the documentary and it kind of, and I'm saying to myself now, I'll probably never eat meat again. Although I've lived a healthy 25 years of my life eating meat and nothing's ever happened to me, but all of a sudden I don't want to eat meat. Do you see what I'm getting at here? So just think about the next time a trend comes, the next time you want to ink and get a tattoo. I wanted to get a tattoo. Again, the reasons, you know. So I was probably following people that had them. So this whole new age of peer pressure is upon us, and you know, I'm 25 and it's upon me. You know, it probably has a deeper impact on the young people and high schoolers. That we already know the dangers of social media that can have on these people. So it's something to look out for, it's something to be studied, and it's something to be addressed. Why So Social, coming at you soon.